Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short, little unboxing video to share with you guys. I have been curious about this for a very long time. I'm a big fan of Guardian Tactical. In fact, I have my own Recon 35. This is the second or third one that I've owned. I've owned the 40. I think these are awesome. They're made in the United States, and they have the bearing switch. I didn't know for a while that they like upgraded it or evolved it, or they have like a version 2. I don't know. That's the whole reason I asked E-Knives if they would loan me one. Thank you to E-Knives. I don't get to keep this. It'll go back to E-Knives when I'm done. But I did want to check it out, give you guys my first impressions, and then do a full review on it on a separate video, which is not today. This will be linked in the description. It is available. I think it's available in a few different colors, perhaps even a few different blade finishes. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. So, what are they calling this? Recon 35 G2 in MagnaCut. I don't know how they're heat treating their MagnaCut. This guy is in LMAX. So, this has been a great knife. Mine is in the carbon fiber. This has never failed. I bet you I've deployed that 1,000 times. It has never failed. I've been a big fan of Guardian Tactical here. Okay, so here we go. We have, right off the bat, let me give you a round of applause, Guardian Tactical. This was one of the biggest issues that I had. As much as I loved the bearing switch, as much as I loved it, there wasn't enough traction. It was good, and the shape of it is fine. But I thought, you know what would make that better? Just a little bit more traction. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect now. This is perfection. It is exactly the right amount of traction. So we're making much better use of this lopsided switch. This has this abrupt sort of American Ninja Warrior wall right here, which allows you to make use of that forward press, right? Pulling back, you have more of a, like a less aggressive lump or mound so that your thumb can be relaxed while it pulls backwards. Boy, that is perfect. I don't think I have felt, this was already smooth. Microtech has their new easy switch, right? The Hawk knives have the super smooth system. This is about as close. This might be the most convenient to open switchblade I've ever experienced. I don't know what they call this blade shape. It has a little harpoon notch. I think that's badass. I think that looks really, really cool. I like it a lot. This isn't hologround, is it? Is it? Man, it's so subtle. I'm trying to decide. I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Little bit of bevel wonkiness here. Thin, kind of widens out. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think mine's like that. Oh, this is way worse. Yeah. In fact, I've got a goof up on my edge down here. I don't think that's the case here. I think all of these are sharpened manually. This has the black aluminum. It says Recon 35 G2. Power, exactly the same. Size, I think it's also exactly the same. Here's something else they have changed. We have jimping under here now. We also have jimping here. I can't remember. The standard ones did not have this. I think that's a grip zone. Yeah. So that's like if you're holding it hammer grip like this. They will almost certainly have your dagger blades, your Tanto blades, right? So I prefer this 100% over the Microtech Ultratech, right? I think the Kershaw Livewire is still like dollar for dollar, one of the best USA made OTFs in this price range. I want to say this guy's probably 40 or 50 bucks more expensive, but the deployment on this feels much better. I'm not talking about in terms of power. I mean, like OTF power, it's cool as a knife collector. Like I like, it's always like interesting when a double action or a single action OTF has like a crazy amount of power. It's neat, but you don't necessarily need power to create dependability. You just need a chassis and frame and switch that, you know, allow for the blade to be deployed and lock out in the open position. Blade play, it's pretty minimal. It's about the same as this. I don't need my OTFs to have absolutely zero blade play. I think it's cool when they do. I don't need them to have zero blade play. It's fine. This is about as convenient as it has ever been. I've made this argument a million times when it comes to OTFs and switchblades. If you are new to my channel, maybe you came here from TikTok or YouTube Shorts, you almost certainly exclusively view knives like these as weapons. And the reason is because movies and TV have portrayed them that way. And yeah, I mean, like, sure, you can use them that way. You can use anything. You can use a rolling pin that way, right? I have always made the argument that laws against knives like these are silly because they don't give you any realistic tactical advantage. What about speed? What about tactical speed? Good question, Hank Hill. I'll tell you what. No, the reality of it is that a manual pocket knife can be deployed just as quickly. That is nonsense, and it is an illusion. It's just like it looks and sounds tactical, so your brain sort of fits that little puzzle together. I have made the argument for a bit now that OTFs, especially double action OTFs, are actually some of the safest knives in existence. The vast majority of the time, the average person is not using a knife in an offensive or defensive weapony way. 99.999999999% of people carrying a pocket knife of any type will simply use it as a tool before they ever have an opportunity to use it otherwise. Most people who do use knives that way, they end up using kitchen knives or just knives of convenience or whatever, right? Stuff like this, the vast majority of the time, is getting used as a tool, as it should. That's how it's designed. This is designed as a tool. And as a tool, it's incredibly convenient. Being able to safely deploy it and retract it with the fewest amount of brain cells, right? This is an easy, organic way to deploy a knife. Furthermore, it does take deliberate force to deploy and retract. A child would have a hard time deploying that, intentionally or unintentionally, right? It is about as safe as it gets. About as safe and simple as it gets. Also, the maintenance on stuff like this is pretty easy too. Here's another thing that I like. Have they increased the head size? Yeah, so these are now T8. We also have dual mounting positions for the pocket clip. They love that weird Halloween font, don't they? But okay. So I thought that this was just kind of like, we put a notch in the blade and it's more tactical now. No, I think this is actually an improvement in every way. I thought maybe that they would send this to me and I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's whatever. It's the same knife with like minor improvements. And it is, but those minor improvements are, I think, especially the switch is pretty major. The MagnaCut thing, assuming that they have the heat treat up there where it should be, is also a really big deal. LMAX is great. I love LMAX. I also really like MagnaCut, right? LMAX is ideally, I mean, it's optimally heat treated. I think it'll probably still outperform MagnaCut. MagnaCut is way tougher though, to my knowledge, and it's also way more stainless. Those are elements that, you know, like create a valid argument for choosing MagnaCut over LMAX. It's also a more expensive steel, right? This feels like the lock-in, the ergonomics feel the same, but the lock-in feels better. And my comfortability and confidence, reliability deploying this, it's off the charts. This texture and the switch are so perfect. Yeah. That's nice. I like being pleasantly surprised by this stuff. So far, first impressions on this is excellent. This is excellent. It's that I need to spend some time with it, but that might be one of my favorites in this. As far as USA OTF, like dual action OTF knives go, at this general price point, this might be like my absolute favorite. Let me see. Let me spend some time with it. Thank you again to eKnives for loaning this to me. Check this out at eKnives. down in the description. So far, really, really good stuff. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check those out. If you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.